Guys, glucose spikes are not bad for you, carbohydrates are not bad for you. If they really were bad for you, then global dietary guidelines wouldn't recommend 50% of all your calories coming from carbohydrates. And yet, a lot of you have been led to believe that glucose spikes are the root cause for all that's wrong in your body, which is more based on fantasy than any actual science. No, your glucose spikes are not loading your pancreas.
Glucose spikes are bad, so is carbs, because eating carbs gives you spikes and eating proteins and fats doesn't give you glucose spikes. And we should avoid getting glucose spikes multiple times throughout the day, because glucose spikes directly create oxidative stress throughout our body, right? And dietary guidelines is basically one of the most criminal acts that has happened to mankind in recent times. So just because dietary guidelines say you should eat 50% carbs, that doesn't make it true, okay? That is like an appeal to authority fallacy. And no one is saying that glucose spikes is the root of all diseases, all the wrong things that is happening inside our body. No one is saying that. That is a straw manning. Okay? So shut your mouth.
This excerpt, which I've taken directly from a textbook, not an article, not some sort of a study, but a textbook of Cardiovascular Endocrinology 2023 edition. And you can see it clearly highlights the etiology for most of your lifestyle diseases. And they lie in elevated free fatty acids, not glucose spikes, not carbohydrates. And you know that elevated free fatty acids can result from chronic overconsumption of calories. And these calories can come from fats or carbohydrates, doesn't matter. But the bottom line is when you overconsume calories, that's what leads to chronic elevation of free fatty acids. And that's what messes up with your insulin signaling.
Free fatty acids or non-esterified fatty acids exclusively come from lysis of stored body fat, stored triglycerides that is present inside the adipose tissue. So this chronic elevation of free fatty acids occurs especially in a metabolic milieu where your body continues to break these stored fats down in the setting of defective insulin signaling, what we call it as insulin resistance at adipose tissue. And at the same time, as your body is not able to oxidize these free fatty acids to create ATP as a source of energy, because your body is continuously in a hyperinsulinemic state, right? So that is where this elevation of free fatty acids in the blood go through the roof, right? So it's not the elevated free fatty acids in the blood that causes insulin resistance. Actually, it turns out to be exactly opposite of what you said. It's the insulin resistance issue, insulin resistance situation that leads you to have higher free fatty acids.